He said, there's just no way. So now we're stuck with, how do you get them out? They're down over the mountain.
Mm.
When I got to the top of when I got up to the road, most people asked for a phone. I knew someone had already called 911, but I wanted I needed internet because I needed to get to Facebook because there's a huge Mustang community, and I knew that there were some around the area. So I finally found someone with internet, and I got on Facebook, and then that's when the flood of people came to help us.
Oh, the mountain was full of people. There was probably 70, 75 people on the mountain. I mean, they had come from everywhere.
The Wellburns who took us in that night, they drove 2.5 hours from Winston-Salem because they had met Casey at the Mustang event she did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And them not even knowing that they could even get to us.
And that
they
man,
left.
David Wellburn, he is a stroke survivor. He had just recovered from a stroke, so he came and he was pitching in and pulling those horses up the mountain too.
Yeah. So in your moment, in that time of all of that, you guys have basically, you don't have shoes on?
No, the kids and I didn't have shoes.
You don't have anything at this point?
And it was pouring rain
Oh,
and about 40
cold.
degrees. So we were wet. Me and the kids we were staying in the ambulance to stay warm, and we just prayed. We just sat and prayed and constantly in the ambulance. And then Zach and Jason would come in and they'd wring their clothes out and they'd put them back on and go back out.
Mm.
Yeah, it was cold.
But then all these people come, and people start to help you.
Yeah. And
What all
people
did-
were
what all did
praying.
people do?
People from all over the whole world
Yeah.
were praying.
Yeah.
To New Zealand, all over the country were praying. They said that when they saw my post on Facebook, they hit their knees and they prayed
Yeah.
nonstop.
It was a shocker for everybody when you saw that.
People said that they were just glued to Facebook waiting for the next update.
Mm-hmm. And so some people came, they brought you some clothes and
Yeah,
gave you a place to stay. So
Yeah,
you
the
guys
people
ended
that
up
came
staying?
to help us on the scene, they gave us a lot of clothes and they gave us halters for the horses because we didn't even have halters on the horses because they were wild.
Yeah.
And they gave us, so the Wellburns took us into their home and we slept in their wonderful feather bed. And they gave us warm clothes and they gave us food and they were wonderful.
I didn't sleep. No, I didn't sleep.
We didn't sleep very good.
And plus, one reason why was the cat kept trying to fall asleep.
It was amazing. I'm not a Facebook person, really. Getting more so now, I guess, but it's amazing the amount of people that not only came to the mountain, but when we got to Texas, we walked in to Will Rogers and everybody knew who we were.
Before we went to the auction in Tennessee, I was at small group with my ladies in a small group, and I said, everything was kind of falling in place for us to go to this auction. Money was kind of coming in, and everything was just falling in place. And I had this feeling that this was God's plan for us to go to this auction. And I was going to use these Mustangs to glorify God in any way I could. I didn't really plan on going down the side of the mountain, but whatever works, I guess.
Fantastic.
So I've had people contact me that said that it changed their life. Just when you go through something like this, you really need to think about, it's more how you react to it, because people commented that they were very impressed with how we reacted to the situation. And I had one lady tell me that her little boy heard the story, and he was 8, and he after hearing the story, he just knew that he believed in God, because God was the only way that we made it through that. So just kind of story after story about that I hear just from the thousands of people that were praying for us that day.
Well, how does it feel sitting here right now with your family? And I know that's a big question, but how does it feel right now to know that God has brought you to this moment? And He spared you, and all of you are okay, and I mean, because I've seen the other pictures and stuff too. She did some of the pictures there, but some of the other pictures, if you really stop and look at them, it was horrific. And you began to be amazed and in awe that somebody actually survived this thing. How does it feel sitting here right now with your family, knowing that God took care of you?
You know, thankful wouldn't be close to.
Wouldn't be close to it.
It's just not it's just not close enough word.
Kind of indescribable, isn't it?
You know, there's a reasoning. You know, what it is, you know, we don't know. What we've been through and come out basically unmarked. I don't know how you describe it.
I want to say this thing. I would have never gotten this boy on stage. You got to know this, right?
No, probably not.
Never. But he come out of this thing and he came to me and he said, I got to get up and talk.
You know, I'm not sure that, I mean, everybody gets something different out of it. You know, there was 70 plus people on the mountain that got to see a miracle. Then it went out throughout the country, then throughout the world.
We have over 2,000 people just viewed that video in the last 24 hours.
It's amazing.
Why me? You know, by no means am I anything special, mechanic, don't really have, you know, anything that I feel like he could use. He uses the strangest people in the strangest ways. You know, again, thankful wouldn't even come close because I'm not sure there is no word to describe it because I could have lost everything.
Yes.
Not me, but my whole family. I mean, you know, could have been gone in an instant.
I alternate between why did this happen and is this really reality? Because sometimes I think this couldn't have possibly happened. Maybe we're in some kind of alternate reality.
Yeah.
And then also just think about the weight of it, because I feel like God has put us through this for a reason,
Yes.
and we need to make sure that we capitalize on it as much as possible.
It certainly causes you to review your priorities, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not sure. You know, I'm a slow learner. I've seen miracles. You know, my life is full of them as a young kid. You know, I've had diseases you don't live through. They find on the autopsy. You know, I've lived through things that you just don't live through. And it's happened to me multiple times. And obviously, I'm not real quick on my feet. So, you know, we go over a mountain. And this time it actually, you know, I did see it for what it was. Not that I thought any less the other times he saved me. But then to save my whole family.
Yeah.
It changes you when you realize it's not just you. You know, he used my family to say, hey, pay attention, you know, I need you for whatever it is. And that I thought that I had it under control. Because the whole time, man, I got this. Because I fix things, that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the problem is, I fix it.
Yeah.
You know, and please don't try to imagine, but I've got a wife in the back and 2 kids, a wife that's screaming, 2 kids that's crying, and I'm thinking, man, I got this. Got this under control. No problem. And you realize you don't have it under control. And there's been a lot of times where I've told God, you know, hey man, I got a good plan. If you'll get on it, we'll go somewhere. And, you know, hey, I can make a good plan. You know, and if you decide this is a good plan, you know, we'll go somewhere
I
with it.
think we all think like that.
And, you know, you realize that he needs to make the plan and you need to get on it. And it is really hard for me. That is, you know, we all have our problems, and that is, you know, probably one of my biggest hang-ups. It would be a whole lot easier if he'd get on my plan, but it doesn't work quite like that.
How many of you guys, you relate with what he just said right there? Thank you.
Well, that makes me feel better.
All right, guys, are you glad this family is still alive? Thank y'all so much. Y'all can lay those mics right there if you don't mind.